Hi everyone, there we go. We're all sorted and ready to go. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Tuesday, 28th of April, daily webinar, small business support here across the UK. Thank you for joining us. Josh, can you hear me?
Hello, I can. Can you hear me?
Great, I can hear you. All looking good. And looks like everybody's here. Hello everyone, welcome and thanks for joining us today again. Wonderful, wonderful. Well, we've been running these webinars for 3 weeks, over 3 weeks now.
I think it's pushing 4 now.
Pushing
4
weeks,
tomorrow,
absolutely
yeah.
right. And every day we get lots of small business owners joining us, and we really appreciate your time. It has been fantastic for us and for you. And yeah, we're loving the feedback. The feedback's been great. We're getting so many people say to us that they've put into practice the things that we told them, and they're starting to actually get results. They're starting to get inquiries, or they're starting to get found higher on Google, which is just incredible. So yeah, loads of good stories coming out of this. And if you haven't been in these daily webinars, first of all, where have you been? Second of all, you've missed out on a lot. And over the last few days, Josh has been going into a little bit more of the technical side of digital marketing, specifically Google Analytics, Google Search Console, remarketing, and how you can set these things up. And the reason why we've had Josh do this is because Josh is our marketing lead here at InfoServe, and this is the stuff that he works on day to day. So if there's anyone that can help you on the kind of technical things like setting up analytics or any of those kind of tools, Josh is the man. And what Josh will try and do is he'll guide you through as a small business owner, because we recognize that some of this stuff can be quite difficult to understand. And you may only get 1 or 2 things out of these, but that's all we ask. All we want is for you to come away from these webinars with one new thing that you can implement today. And if you can do that every day, then you should be able to really grow your business online. So there's been some great stories. A lot of you have come back to us with some great kind of examples of how it's all working for you. And more people want to know about Google Analytics, which has taken us by surprise. So you want to understand how it can work for your business. So that's what we are going to look into more of the technical side of things again today. So we've got a couple of things we want to finish off with. If you missed yesterday's webinar or Friday's webinar, we do recommend that you watch those back on YouTube, because they're linked to what you're seeing today. So we are going to continue things. What is the point of Google Analytics? Well, it's imperative that everybody has Google Analytics. You should all have Google Analytics. And it's a tool that helps you understand how your marketing is working for you, or genuinely how your website is working. And once you have that information, that intelligence, you can then adjust things accordingly. And we do it all the time for many of our customers. And we've taken customers from, getting 1 or 2 inquiries every month to 5, 10 new inquiries every month instead, just by looking at Google Analytics, just by reading it properly and making adjustments with the marketing. It is that powerful. So yes, we absolutely all should be using Google Analytics, and that we're going to dive into something really cool today to show you a bit more about how it can benefit your business. So daily webinar today, Tuesday, and we've got another one tomorrow, another one the next day. We are not stopping there. We've got loads more to show you. So loads more to come.
So tomorrow we're going to be running through social media. We're going to have Sam back, our social media lead. We're going to be talking about Instagram, live stories, hashtags, all the kind of juicy bits. We're going to be running through LinkedIn as well. Sam's done a brilliant job with our LinkedIn profile. We're going to get real in depth with social media, and that's tomorrow. Today, we're going to go a deeper dive into analytics. So what I'm going to be showing you today, I'm going to be showing you through all the tabs on the left-hand side and what they mean in terms of the actual categories. You just mute yourself while you type, Matt.
Yeah, well, sorry about that, Josh. Yeah, apologies. It's just that Kari in the chat was asking for the YouTube link. So I've put, I think a few of you might not have that YouTube link. So I've added the YouTube into the chat. So what I'd recommend is there's absolutely tons of webinars in there, completely free at the moment. I say at the moment because yes, we want to keep it exclusive to you guys. Whoever has joined these webinars exclusively has access to this YouTube channel. So it hasn't been shared at all. So it is just for you guys, for the fact that you've joined. It's a thank you for joining, and it's in return we're giving you, well, how many are in there? Maybe 20 webinars?
Yeah, quite a lot.
And they are all really super useful. So I recommend, blocking out maybe half an hour each day to go through those. There's nothing in it for us. I just highly recommend you watch those webinars, or if you've missed any, watch them back. Okay, so just before we crack on though, is this supposed to be a video? I'm not. Is that on the YouTube or is that here?
You should see us in the bottom right hand corner, and then you should see the holding page with just essential tips for your online marketing. All the videos are uploaded to YouTube. Again, you get an automatic email. I think it's 3 or 4 hours after the webinar starts, with the YouTube link in there as well.
Basically, yeah. So just go to that and you'll see them all in there. So I'm going to hand it over to Josh for a bit. And what the plan is I'm just going to come back in towards the end, and I want to talk to everyone about how we can help you with the things that Josh is talking about today, because we're getting a lot of questions, asking for help, asking for, can you do this for us? So I'm going to come back to that at the end of this session. So Josh, I don't want to take too much of your time up. I'm going to say hello to everyone, and I'm just going to say I'll see you all in a little while Josh goes through some really important stuff regarding Google Analytics. So yeah, take it away, Josh.
Yeah, brilliant. So I'm just going to share my screen just so I can take over there. So just let me know, Matt, if you can see my screen for me. That'd be a big help.
Perfect.
Brilliant.
Perfect.
So yeah, obviously you all know about InfoServe. Again, we've got some new people in here today. So InfoServe, UK's only Google, Bing, Facebook, and Yahoo partner. Again, this is why we can provide these webinars about online marketing and everything to do with it. Again, we are Google's premier partner. We are Microsoft Elite channel partners. They are the highest level of partnership you can get with both of these search engines. We've been around for 20 years. We really do know how to get small businesses found online, hence why we're passing on this information. But again, just a little bit about InfoServe. I know we go through it every single webinar. So let's move on. So Google Analytics. Last time we spoke about how to set up your goals, which are very, very important. Again, if this is your first time watching this, please do have a look at our previous webinars on how to set up goals. They are really important. Goals are how to track conversions, your phone calls, your form fills, or even time spent on page, or if they've watched a video. Whatever you want that goal to be, you can set that in Google Analytics. Now, Google Analytics can seem very in-depth to begin with when you first kind of look at it. So this is an in-depth look into Google Analytics. Now, it can seem a bit daunting, but don't worry. This is what I'm going to go through today. I'm going to show you what each section means and what you need to look out for in terms of the top metrics to look out for. There are loads of metrics in there, but I'm going to share with you what I look for when I'm looking at InfoServe and CityVisitor and all the other websites we have, and what you guys should be looking at in terms of a small business owner. So, Google Analytics and kind of what each section means. I'm going to come out of this presentation and I'm going to deep dive straight into it, and I'm going to show you what each section means. But just to kind of show you, you can actually see in the screenshot there, just on the left-hand side, those are your different sections. So we have real time, we have audience, we have acquisition, we've got behavior, and we have conversions. So real time, obviously real time is quite obvious. It's people who are on your site in real time, what pages they're looking at, how long they've been on, what country they're from, what location, all that kind of stuff. Again, what I'm going to do actually is I'm just going to jump straight into analytics and I'm going to show you. So this is the analytics dashboard. You've all seen it. We went through it before. This is the home page. So at the moment, the home page will just show you how many people are kind of on live at the moment. Unfortunately, no one's on the InfoServe site at the moment. Trust that to be the case when I do this. there was like 20 odd before when I checked. But yeah, so let me run through the different reports that you have. So on the left-hand side, you can see these are your different reports and these are your different options that you have. So real time, again, this shows what's happening right now. Where they are and what they look at. So I'm just going to kind of show you the real-time kind of report. Let me zoom out a bit. So this is the overview tab of just all of these different sections that you have in real time. Again, no one's on here, so I can't really show you any data, unfortunately. But yeah, so you can see where people are kind of coming from, and this is live. So this is live. Real time is what's happening on the site right now. You then have your other section of audience. Now, audience is a really useful tab to kind of have a look into. This will show you your demographic. This will show you your gender. This will show you what devices people are using. And this will show you much, much more. As you can see, you've got geo and interests and all these kind of really juicy, useful information where you could understand each user and your audience and kind of what they are doing. Let me go on. That'll be why I am on the wrong one. That'll be why no one's on that site. Let me go back to real time. Sorry about that, guys. Real time. Oh, there we go. Yeah, we've got 7 users right now. This is what I wanted to show you. So on here, as you can see, our top active pages for real time. I've just gone back to real time just to show you. Right now, there we go. Some are looking at social manager. Some are looking at websites. We've got the main InfoServe homepage there, and we've got people looking at our paid search. Now, this will update in real time. I can see our top referrals so far, they've come from Yahoo. This is right now, okay? Again, it's really nice, useful information. You can just have a look, see where people are viewing, kind of see where locations people are looking from as well. Again, so let me kind of run through the audience option on here as well. So audience, as I mentioned, will show you your demographic, the gender, device, and so much more. The language, the operating system, absolutely everything. This tab, the audience tab over here, will give you a better understanding of the visitors that you have. You can really understand your visitors in more depth when you look at the audience tab. Again, you can see, for instance, we have users. So this is just in the date range of in the last week, for instance. We have, and again, you can change the date range in the top right-hand corner here. You can choose a custom date range. You can choose last week, last 30 days, or you can literally just click on each date and then you can choose each date. Let me just put that back to there. Again, kind of last 10 days or so. I can see I've had 700 608 users in the last 10 days. I can see that 616 of those are new users, which is brilliant to see that new people are coming onto the site and they're finding out about InfoServe. So sessions are the a user can have multiple sessions. A session is counted as up to 30 minutes, or if they become inactive. So if I was, I'm a new user, I've gone onto the site, onto the InfoServe site, then had a look around, but then I haven't done anything. I haven't clicked on a new page, I haven't clicked any button for 30 minutes. That will then time out, or especially when I click out of the website as well. If I leave it 30 minutes and I come back on, that's counted as a new session. So that's just a kind of a little understanding of what sessions mean. We just had a question I can see. Why does language show as mainly English US? Again, that's just the language that they've set for Google, their accounts. Again, you've got obviously it's English either way. You've got English, GB, and US. It's just the settings in there. I wouldn't worry too much about that. The main thing to kind of take from the audience overview are how many users are on your site, how many new users are coming onto your site, and obviously I've just kind of explained sessions. So number of sessions per user around about 1.2. So I can see that people are coming onto the site more than once, which is good, and having more than one session and interaction. We've got page views. So this is how many page views we've had over the past 10 days, according to, here we go, on our 9 days. On our date range that we've selected. This is the interesting one: pages per session. The idea of a website is to hopefully keep people engaged and to obviously get them to inquire. Pages per session, you can see how many pages people view on average per session that they have. So as we can see, we've had 843 sessions. Doesn't necessarily mean users. We've had 708 users in total. Some have had more than one session. So the higher the number, the better for all of these, really, apart from bounce rate. So pages per session, I can see on average that our content is engaging with people so far. If people are looking at 3 to 2 web pages per session that they visit, that's a good thing for us. I'm wanting my end goal, being the marketing lead at InfoServe, is to have people aware of our products and have people look through our website and have a look at the different services and offers that we have got on at the moment. The more people that interact with more pages, the better I'm going to rank as a website on Google. Google can clearly tell that this is engaging content and that people are finding it useful. Average session pure duration around about 2 minutes 10, which is incredible. That tells me very much so that I do have relevant content to what they're trying to find. Again, this doesn't show you yet. This isn't showing you yet where they're coming from or what is coming from in terms of search terms and stuff. We'll go into that later. This is just the average, an overview of your audience. So again, average session duration 2 minutes, which is incredible. If you think about 2 minutes may not sound like a long time, but 2 minutes on a web page is a very, very long time, especially when you're looking at kind of 2 to 3 pages. That's brilliant. That's really good news to see. Obviously, the higher, the better. Bounce rate. So bounce rate is how many people will leave pretty much straight away after finding your site. So bounce rate is kind of it's a tricky way of measuring it that Google kind of do it. But if people look onto other web pages, if someone clicks onto it straight away and then clicks straight off and goes elsewhere, that's not good. I'm wanting people to stay on the site for as long as possible. I'm wanting people to engage with my content and look through as many pages as possible. Again, bounce rate fluctuates massively, especially when you have shed loads of landing pages, which we do for InfoServe. Some landing pages have a really low bounce rate. Some landing pages have a really high bounce rate. This is an average across all of your pages. So you've got a nice kind of nice graph here. So you can see we've got a new visitor. So 616 users are new. Again, the way kind of Google defines this, it's all based on cookies. It's all based on kind of Google knowing if you've been on that site in terms of your search history. A lot of people have signed into their Google account, and this is kind of where they get their data from. And I can see that 81% are new visitors, which is fantastic. That's really, really good. It's showing me at the moment for the past, again, this is only the past 9 days, that more and more people are finding out about InfoServe, and more of them are new users. Hopefully it's down to the webinar. We can find out later. And hopefully it's down to kind of any email sends that we're doing in terms of marketing campaigns. We have obviously email sends going out. We have these webinar series. So lots and lots of people can find out about InfoServe, and it's good to see that we have new visitors come in. So I can see some kind of questions coming in. So I'm just going to answer some of those. What defines a new user? If I went onto your site a month ago and then came back today, am I a new or returner? Again, it's down to kind of cookies and so forth. So if you've got the InfoServe kind of cookie on there, then it can see that you've been on. Analytics is very good at tracking people and making sure that's as true as possible. I think that's the right phrase to use. Again, it completely depends. If obviously a user was to delete all their cookies and their history, then it's going to be hard to track them. But again, the majority of people don't do that every single time they go on a website. That's how they define new users. Dean, am I happy with the bounce rate? On average for 61%, yes. Yes, I am. And I'll show you why. Again, all we need to do is kind of compare that data. I'm going to be looking into that in more depth soon. So Leo, my pages per session 6.86 seems high. Bounce rate 78.87 seems bad. Yes, so the bounce rate needs bringing down a little. But your pages per session 6.86. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. So your pages per session is 6. So people are looking at around, on average, 6 pages per session, but your bounce rate's quite high. So the majority of people are clicking straight off, but the people that do stay there are looking at a lot of content. So again, we can find out why in more depth. Chris, when a visitor uses a link on one of my pages that opens in a new tab, is that still a bounce? No, not at all. So when a visitor uses a link on one of your pages, no, that's not a bounce. Again, if it's on the same website, they can see, Google Analytics can see that it goes from this page to that page. Just because it opens up in a new tab doesn't necessarily mean that you've kind of bounced. Again, Google will see and follow them through the cookies that they can see they've gone from this page to this page, irrelevant of if it's in a new tab or not. If they were to look in a new browser, then probably they'd count as a new user because they're looking at a new browser. Anyway, I digress a little, so let's have a look. So again, audience, it really helps you kind of better understand and kind of understand visitors in more depth. As you can see, we can filter down by browser and operating system and all that kind of juicy stuff. Let me kind of carry on running through the overview, and then I'm going to show you the top metrics to look for. So acquisition. Acquisition is the source of your web traffic. This is where you can track where people are coming from. So we've got real time, which is obviously the people live right now on your site. You have audience, so you can better understand the visitors on your website. And then you have acquisition. So acquisition is purely about the source of the web traffic. So in here, as we can see, 64% of people are typing in InfoServe directly. So either that be from a link they've clicked in an email, whether that be a link that they've clicked in from the webinar, whether that be a link or obviously typing in infoserve.com straight into the URL address bar. So that tells me that the majority of people actually know about InfoServe already, or they've heard about InfoServe and they want to find out more. 27% are coming from organic. Again, this is just in the past 9 days, sorry. So 27% are coming from organic search. So they're finding us on Google, which is brilliant. So 204 users in the last 10 days of founders on Google. Again, you've got your referrals. So you've got 41 users, 5%, which is a referral. And then you've got 2%, which is coming from social. So let's have a look at this in a little bit more depth. So down here, we have all of our juicy information. So as I can see, 468 users have found us directly. And again, it comes up down here. You can actually select, so if I was to choose kind of all goals there, it's defaulted to e-commerce for some reason. I can see the conversions and where people are coming from. So I can see, I actually get a higher conversion rate, which is here on the right-hand side, which is people filling out those goals, which could be whatever you've set them as, form fills. You can set them as phone calls, people looking at a video, anything you want, people clicking a certain button, whatever it may be. These are the goal conversions which we previously set up. So I can see, having a quick look at this, having a look at the overview in the past 9 to 10 days, I can see that organic search is performing best for conversions. So that tells me I need to start driving more traffic to get more conversions. I'm going to put some more efforts into organic search now by having a look at this, because I can see it converts better. The majority of my traffic, as I can see, comes from direct, but it only converts 3% of the traffic so far. To have 6% conversion, again, it's double the conversion rate, so it's double the inquiries. So organic search is something that I need to look at to improve on. This isn't saying that it's bad, because obviously that's a fantastic statistic there to look at, but what this is showing me is I need to do a bit more SEO work. I need to speak to my SEO guru back at head office and find out what other kind of landing pages and what other tips and tricks we can kind of do in terms of title tags and organizing the content in a way that Google will find me better. And again, with this whole webinar series has been about how to get found on Google. So yeah, that's the kind of the acquisition. It's purely on how people find your website and what source they are coming from. And again, you can click directly into here and you can have a look a little bit more in more depth for kind of for organic. For instance, we can see the kind of keywords. Again, the majority of keywords show as not provided. This has been a massive debate in the SEO and kind of in our industry. They used to show you the keywords, now they don't, unfortunately, down to data protection. The only keywords that they will generally kind of show you is unfortunately for Google Ads, because then they click on the ad and they know the keywords. Again, it's a little bit annoying. There has been a massive debate about this constantly, but yeah, let me kind of finish going through the tabs. So behavior. So behavior is how you can learn how people behave on your site. You can see what pages are most visited and if they stay on your site. So I'm just going to go on to the overview again. And again, this is showing you the pages that are most visited if they stay on your site. And this will help really help you better understand how people engage with your content. So unsurprisingly, the homepage is the most used landing page. Makes sense. Our second kind of used landing page is Account InfoServe, which would be our customers logging in and having a look at their products, having a look at their invoices, having a look at their dashboards, which makes sense. So here we go. We're getting into some juicy stuff. So I can see that local listings is actually performing best in terms of our individual landing pages. That isn't the homepage. I'm going to ignore the homepage for now, and I'm going to ignore the account side because that's our existing customers looking at. I'm wanting to look at kind of new customers, potential customers, people who are more likely to convert. I can see, for instance, local listings are up there, closely followed by websites, which is brilliant to see. A lot of people are looking at kind of sorting out their local listings. People have a lot of time on their hands now. A lot of small to medium business owners are wanting to sort out their Google My Business, their Bing Places, their Yahoo listings. And it's good to see that people are looking at those to improve their online presence. And again, this really does help you understand your content and what's working. If you've got, for instance, a service page on there, like boiler installations, you can see if that landing page is working best, and if you are driving enough traffic to there. Again, I'm just going to go for kind of a quick overview on each of these. Let me answer some questions. So, Phil, after what length of time is bounce not counted? So when they actually click away from the site, which everyone does eventually. Exactly, Phil. Yes. So the bounce rate is kind of counted on a number of factors. If you click onto another site, another page, then that's not a bounce anymore. You are engaged with the content. I think I'm going to have to double check on that. I think the kind of time is around about. I think it's around about 10 to 30 seconds. Again, I'm going to have to double check on that one. But yeah, so your main goal is obviously to try and get people engaging. There's a number of factors. If you scroll down to the bottom of the page, you're no longer counted as a bounce rate. Your bounce rate is predominantly people clicking onto the page and then clicking straight off. It is a very small amount of time that it actually uses to calculate that. And there are a number of factors that will come into play that will affect that. If I go onto another site, if I go onto another page on your site, if I have a look further down your page, whatever it may be. So I hope that's answered your question, Phil. So Paul, I've set up a filter to show the landing page of a not provided keyword. Would you recommend this to allow an idea of the content they are after? Yes, definitely. Again, so I'm going to talk about kind of landing pages and how to track them. That is a top metric to look for. Again, I'm going to be talking into that. So just to kind of carry on what I was going on about with the behavior, this is purely to kind of learn how people behave on your site. And you've got loads of different options. I'm just looking at overview for now. So let me dive into conversions and kind of explain what conversions are. Obviously, your conversions are you can track the actions that your visitors take and where they have come from as well. So I'm just going to go into kind of conversions and an overview of these conversions. So I can see in the last kind of 9 days that we've had 36 goal completions. I can also see that we have a good goal conversion rate. And so on and so forth. Again, you can track all your individual kind of conversions that you have set up. If you click on source and medium down here, this will show you where these conversions are coming from. So I can see that the majority of our conversions are people typing in InfoServe direct. Again, that could be direct, could be from them clicking on a link as well, from like an email campaign, for instance. We've got Google Organic, which is brilliant to see up there. Again, 44% of my goal completions have come from people finding us on Google, which is brilliant to see. It's our SEO efforts are really starting to kind of pay off. And again, this is where you can really track your conversions and see if your efforts are paying off, really. So that's kind of an overview of each tab. Again, just to kind of reel that off again, you've got real time, which are the real-time statistics for people on your site. You have audience, where you can check your demographic, the gender, the device, and much more. You have acquisition, which tracks the source of the web traffic. You then have the behavior, so you can learn how people behave on your site, what pages are most visited, if they stay on those pages, and this really helps to kind of understand the content on your website and if it is working. And then obviously we've got conversions, which you can track actions that visitors take and where they come from. Another handy feature is the search option. So the Google's do some really kind of what I'm trying to say. They show you some good searches to kind of search from. So you got top referrer this year, how many active users, and again you can search anything in here. If you want to find out week over week growth of sessions, you can do that. You type in here and it will run a report for you. If I want to find out, for instance, LinkedIn, I want to find out how many people are coming from LinkedIn. I can view page views for LinkedIn. And again, in the past 7 days, we've had 1 page view because of LinkedIn. Again, you can really kind of get into these and kind of just type in a question, and it will show you. I can show you top search terms, for instance. to kind of get found for. Again, some really juicy stuff. If you are struggling and are stuck, simply just do a search and it will show you. So that's kind of an overview of every section of the reports that you can run. The main thing to look for is, obviously, that's a lot of information there. Okay, so sorry, I was just reading a question there. So the top metrics to look out for. The top metrics that I look out for are visitor data, devices, how they find you, landing pages, and your conversions. So I'm going to go through each and every one. So your visitor data. Your visitor data is really, really important. This is your audience. This is finding out more about your audience. So to find out my visitor data, I'm going to go to audience, which is this section here, the audience report. I'm going to click on overview. And here we are. This is the kind of the visitor data that we can find. Again, let me choose a date range. So I'm going to choose the whole month of March. That's just gone. So I'm going to choose March. I'm going to have a look at kind of our data and see what's going on. So I can see we've had 2,707 users, and the average pages per session is near enough 3 pages, which is brilliant to see. In the month of March, I can see we've had a bounce rate of 54%. Again, that's bringing our average down, which is brilliant to see. So this doesn't really mean anything so far. I understand that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to compare it from last month. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here into the top right hand corner. I'm going to choose my date range, which is March. And then you can click compare to. So if you click compare to, and then you can put in the previous month. It's done it automatically for me. So I'm just going to click apply. Now what this is going to do is it's going to bring up the data and it's going to compare it from last month. So as we can see, our users have gone down slightly from 2,707 to 2,719. I'm not too bothered about that. It is very kind of close. Again, we have had a slight dip in new users compared to last month, but our sessions have increased. So the users that are looking at our site are coming on it more than once throughout the month, which is brilliant to see, especially of number of sessions per user. It's gone from 138, it's gone from 132 to 138. So it's a 4.3% increase, which is brilliant. Our page views have gone up, which makes sense because we've seen that our sessions per user and our sessions in total have gone up. Even though we have actually less users than last month, these users that have found us are looking at more looking at more web pages, and they're also looking at more pages per session as well. As we can see, I've had a 7% increase of pages per session, which is fantastic to see compared to last month. I can see that our average session duration has gone up 18%. So you can really start to see how you can measure this data and you can really get in depth and show see if your efforts are working and where you can kind of plan next. Again, this is some really kind of juicy information in here. So again, all I've done there is kind of is compare. And again, you can change this top bar here to show anything you want. If I wanted to show pages per session, for instance, I can have a look at pages per session. A good thing to look out for actually is, so let's go to new users. Let's have a look at for some spikes. So I can see in March, I had a spike around here, March the 4th. What happened around March the 4th? Why have I had a spike in new users? Did I send out an email campaign? Did I host a webinar and ask everyone to go onto the landing page? You can really see kind of what's happening. And again, I can see in the previous month, I had a spike around Thursday the 20th. What happened around there? Why are more people looking on that specific date than on any other date? Again, this is really, really in-depth, juicy information. So that's a top metric to look for, is your visitor data, and kind of find out more about what's going on there. So let me show you the kind of the demographics, for instance. So let me just go onto the demographics here. Let me get rid of this compare to. Let's have a look. So in here, I can see that the majority of all users between March the 1st and March 31st are aged around 25 to 34 years old. So 31% of my users are in that age bracket. I can see that 61% of those users are male. I now know from just simply looking at my demographics that the people that I need to target for any kind of marketing campaigns or even writing content for are males aged 25 to 34. That is a huge bit of information that you, the small business owner, can use in your marketing. This is really, really incredible stuff. And again, this is all free. So as you can see, again, 61% are male and 31% are 25 to 34. I can now start writing content that will satisfy and please this target audience. I can put buzzwords in there that I know that males between 25 and 34 will respond to. Again, this is some really, really useful information. So let's have a look at kind of devices. So I'm just going to go to mobile here on the left-hand side. I'm still in the audience tab. I'm finding more about my audience and how they interact with my site and what they do. So I'm just going to click on overview for mobile. And I can see the majority, is no surprise to me, is the majority use desktop. So now I know I need to optimize my content for desktop for males between the age of 25 and 34. That is a huge bit of information that I can use there and really plan my marketing campaigns. I would highly recommend, in terms of your top metrics to look for, this visitor data that I've shown you is the best place to start. You really do know your audience in and out now, and you know what content to write and who to target on Facebook. We had a lot of kind of questions around Facebook targeting and the audience metrics. We've got the answers here for you for each of your individual websites. If you're unsure about who your target audience is and what kind of age they are, Google Analytics will literally show you some fantastic information there. So again, I've kind of shown you the visitor data, which is audience and overview. And again, go in there, have a compare, see how you're doing, for instance, compared to last year. How is this year compared to last March doing? How is March, this March compared to, so let me just do March again, for instance. And then I'm going to compare that to January, for instance. Let's have a look. Again, fantastic increase. So I've got 18% more users just on between January just gone and March that we've just been through. We've got more sessions. We've got more page views. We've got an average session which is higher from 2 minutes here, 2 minutes 19. Oh, of course it disappears. Number of session, where's that gone? Average session, there we go. So 2 minutes 19 to 2 minutes 43, an extra kind of 30 seconds there, which is brilliant, which is good to see. The content that I'm writing now is more engaging. I've got a less bounce rate. Not as many people are leaving the site and not finding what they want. And again, I can see there's been a huge spike on March the 4th. Which makes sense because we were running an email campaign for March the 4th around that kind of time, and we were asking people to go on a specific page, which obviously they did. So that explains the spike, and I know that straight away. Again, you can really see how this is some really useful information here that I'm showing you. So again, I've shown you visitor data, and I have shown you the devices. Now what I'm going to show you is how these guys find you. That's a very important aspect to look for. You need to find out about your visitors, who they are, and the kind of demographic and the interest that they're in. Again, there is an interest tab there as well. I'll just show you this very quickly. You can show an overview of their interests. So I can see here, let me take off the compare. So I can see 3.5% of shoppers / value shoppers. Again, these got all these different kind of categories, what people are interested in. Again, this is only showing kind of 30% of total users. It will never show you 100%, unfortunately. Oops. Let me cancel that. So again, this is some really kind of useful information here, and show you. So let me show you how they find you. So what I'm going to do, so to find out how they find you, obviously we need to go into acquisition, because this is your source of your traffic. This is how people find you, is the acquisition tab. So I'm going to go into acquisition and I'm going to click overview. So this is showing you, again, we've seen this kind of very briefly. This is showing you how people find you. And again, we can compare as well. So the majority of people are finding me directly. And I can see for all conversions that we have a 9% kind of conversion rate for all of our channels. This is in March. I know I showed you it before, which was April's statistics. This is March's statistics, hence why direct, it has a higher conversion rate than organic search. As we looked just a little bit ago, before we were looking in April's data, and now we're looking in March's data because I changed it earlier on. Again, always be careful when you're, that has caught me out a couple of times. A little top tip for you, if you do go into another report and you realize, oh, this data's changed, just make sure that you have selected the right date range of where you want to select. And again, I can go for the full year, I can go for the past 90 days, but so far this is just March. So we had 1,799 people directly search InfoServe with a bounce rate of 56%, which is good. That's nice and low. Our lowest bounce rate is 49% for organic search, which is brilliant. That's really good news. So the information and content that people are finding organically seems to be working. Not many people are bouncing off, and they're looking at different pages and they're having a look. Again, we can organize it by pages per session, for instance, and the table will then update. And you can really see, there we go. Again, I won't mess around with that too much, but have a little play, have a little look around. So we have got a 9% conversion rate on direct, which is fantastic news. Nearly 10% of these visitors inquired with us, which is perfect. The higher, the better, obviously. But 9% conversion rate, I am really happy with that. Organic search, we've got 2% conversion rates, below the standard that I'd like. Anything above 3% is better. So Thomas has asked a question, what happens if you have multiple goals in terms of conversions? So you can choose your goals, Thomas. So you've got your conversion up here and you can choose your goals. If you've got different landing pages, if you've got different goals, you can choose them there, and it will show you. So if you just want to compare, for instance, like your website form or your landing page form or your PPC kind of campaign that we have here. Again, depends what goals you have set up, depends on what goals you can track. If you just purely want to track how many people have clicked the Call Me Now button and see which avenue is working best for you, to see which people have clicked Call Me Now, you can do that. You just choose your conversion goal there. You choose, keep pressing that button. You choose your goal, and then it will update, and you can see if organic search is working better, if paid search is working better. We have an option for paid search here. We weren't running a paid search campaign in March. We just had some kind of leftover, only 3 users. It's negligible. I wouldn't even look at that kind of statistics because there's only kind of 3 there. When you are running a paid search campaign, though, this is exactly how you can keep track of it and see if it's working. You can see how many people have filled out that form and how many people have clicked the call button, and again, you can do this all just by here. So let's have a look at kind of this versus January, for instance. Let's have a look. So I'm just going to click compare, and I'm going to choose January. No, I'm not. I'm going to choose March first. Then I'm going to click there. There we go, and I'm going to click January. So let's have a look. So the whole of January compared to the whole of March. Again, this is the kind of the me comparing. So I can see I've had an 28% increase in direct traffic. I've had a 3% decline in organic search. More people found me in January. It'll be interesting to find why. What kind of keywords are people searching? Again, we're going to go into that soon as well. Kind of what landing pages are people clicking on and so forth. Again, you can get some really juicy information, but overall, I've had an 18% increase in users, mainly down to the direct traffic, and this is in March. So I ran a campaign in March to increase that traffic, and again, it's obviously paid off its words. I believe it was can't remember what campaign it was now, but again, so again, you can really track what happens on your site, how many pages per session. That has gone up by 6%. That's brilliant. And from January to now, more people are looking at more pages, which is brilliant to hear, and more people are staying on those pages as well, which is really good to see. Average session duration, so more people are staying for longer on that page. And again, the goals really important. So I've had from direct traffic, I've had a 1,976% increase in the amount of goals, the conversions that I've had. So that's form fills, that's inquiries. And again, you can really see kind of the efforts that I've been putting in are really starting to pay off. Nearly a 2,000% increase in conversions from January to March, which is brilliant. It's also kind of expected as well. Not many business owners are going to be kind of inquiring over, in our industry anyway, we're business to business. You guys are obviously B2C, business to customers. The majority of you are, a lot of you are anyway. But again, you can see kind of what's improved. So I can see my referrals, again, those have improved as well. And my social media across the board has improved as well. So what I'm doing on social media is really working. 50% increase in new users, 3% increase in kind of bounce rate, which is good. So it's gone from 76 to 74, and a 100% increase in goals. We didn't get any goals, didn't get any conversions from social in January, unfortunately. So again, this acquisition really does kind of show you how these people are finding you and how your website visitors are finding you. Another good aspect to look at is your landing pages. What landing pages are working? What's driving the most traffic? And where are people going? Let's find that out. So for landing pages, I want to have a look at behavior, because this is how people are interacting on my site. This is the behavior of people on the site. As I mentioned, this is where you can really kind of understand how people behave on the site, what pages are most visited, and if they stay on. So I'm going to click on behavior. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go straight to site content. And then I'm going to go down to landing pages, which is here. So let's have a look what people are entering on and where they are coming. Let me just take off the compare. So this is for the month of March. So landing pages, as I can see, infoserve.com is the main site, is the main homepage, sorry. The majority of sessions are coming from there, which makes sense. So this would explain the spike. So we've been looking at the spike over and over again. We can see that we had a spike on March the 4th. So as we can see on here, the reason being is people are landing on email landing. Now for us, I've named that web page email landing. So I know that the email campaign I have ran has landed on email landing, which makes sense. So I can see 353 users, 353 sessions are looking at email landing, which makes sense. I now know the reason as to why my spike occurred. Again, we had a spike of 415 sessions, which makes sense. Let me just change that to... Let's have a look. Users. There we go. New users. Let's have a look. So 304 new users on one day, which makes sense. We've had around about 353 go onto email landing. So there's my answer. I know that, again, from that email campaign was actually inviting people for It was kind of a campaign that we ran for our customers to kind of help them out during this time. We've kind of offered them some free upgrades with like websites and stuff like that. So that makes sense. I can now have an answer as to why I had a spike and what pages are working best. But you can see I can really track my performance of my campaigns and how these are really working. Got a question from Phil. Sorry, what is considered a conversion? So Phil, a conversion is what you have defined in your goals. So a conversion for me in this instance is a form fill. It's the end goal that you want from your website. So a conversion is where you convert a website visitor into an inquiry. That's what a conversion is. So whether that be a form fill, whether that be a phone call, again, you can set up goals to do different things. You can set up a goal to say, I want a goal to be where I want people to spend 3 minutes on this web page because I know I've timed myself roughly that this PDF I put here takes around about 3 minutes to read. Whatever you want, you can put in that you want people to watch a video. You can put in that you want people to click a specific button. Again, the more goals that you have, the better the tracking is going to be because you can really track it against your goals. But let's have a look. So I ran this campaign for the email landing and I can see I had 353 sessions. And I can see 270 of those are new users. So 10% of my new users in that month came from this email campaign. I can see the bounce rate. It's exceptionally low at 37%. They're finding the content that they want, which makes sense. I've sent an email. I've put in a little bit about the content, and then I'm just basically reiterating that content on the landing page. So they're finding exactly what I've already told them to click on, which makes sense. Again, pages per session. People are having a look through the site, which is brilliant news. Not only have they looked at the landing page, which I want them to look at, they're also looking at other pages on the site as well. They're finding more about the services we offer. They're finding out maybe the about page, maybe the blog page, maybe the awards page, whatever it may be. And I can see that my conversion rate for goal completions in this particular case is 51%, which is phenomenal. 51% of the people that landing on that page inquired, which is huge. That's really, really good to see. 181 inquiries from one campaign, and that's 69% of my inquiries in March came from that campaign or came from that landing page, which is brilliant. This is really good to see. My campaign has obviously worked. I've managed to kind of generate that many inquiries, which is brilliant news. And again, this is exactly what you guys can do, and this is what you guys should be doing. You need to see if that Facebook post has worked. You need to see if that mass email send to all your customers has worked. Are people finding it as spam? Are people clicking on your website and inquiring? You might see 2 or 3 kind of calls come through and think, yes, this is working. But as soon as you look at the statistics and find out that actually 1,000 people have been on your landing page, but only 3 have inquired, there is room for improvement. And then you know now that you need to make some work on that and then compare it between other months. So if you know you send out an email every month, again, I've shown you how to compare. You can compare previous months. Get some really, really juicy information. I did say would be getting in depth. Let's have a look at kind of some questions. Gerard, not sure I'm linked to my website as all my measurements say 0. Again, it's if you've only just set it up from our last video, it can take up to 30 days just to gather some data. Google Analytics is one of those, if you haven't had set up, you need to let it gather all that data before it will show you anything. It needs to get a considerable amount of the data there. So that'll be the reason why it's kind of showing 0. Andrew, could you remind us how to set goals, please? Yes, of course. I am conscious that we are running out of time. It is 3 o'clock already. We do have a YouTube video on there, but I'm more than happy to kind of run through it. I can run through it on a one-to-one basis as well, Andrew, if you'd like to. But if anyone else in the chat in the webinar wants me to go through kind of how to set up goals, just put in a yes into the chat, please. And then I know I need to do another webinar on it, or if you're happy just to kind of look at the previous webinar. Should you delete pages that do not get page views? No. So don't just delete pages if they don't get any views. You need to work on why they're not getting any views. You need to find out where people are finding that page from. So let me show you that very thing. So while I'm in landing pages, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find out where they have come from. So what I'm going to do is, this will be interesting for you, Jen, as well, is just click on secondary dimension. So now I'm going to find out where these pages, people have come for these landing pages. I'm just going to type in source, and I'm going to click source and medium. So now what this is going to do is it's going to show you where people have come from to get to that landing page. So obviously we have the InfoServe main web page. So 879 have typed it in directly, 388 have found it organically. I can then see if my Google SEO is really paying off for the landing page. So I can see that we've had 233 new users, which is brilliant. 9% of my new users there have come from Google, who have landing on the homepage. Very low bounce rate, which is fantastic, 39%. Average pages, here we go, 3.43 and 3.75. 6 there for account. Oh, that's customers. I got too excited there. That's customers. That's expected. But as you can see, average session 3 minutes. Brilliant news. And again, a conversion rate of 1.2%. So we're only 5 inquiries from people landing on their homepage. So people have found us organically. They've gone onto the homepage. Only 5 have inquired. Again, you can really see where people are coming from. Again, we've got listings manager here. This is people organically have found us. We have 22 new users, 55 sessions. Bounce rate's quite high. Something that I'm going to have a look at. Why are people bouncing off there? They're looking at different pages though, which is good. And again, they're spending a long time on there. So again, it's worth kind of having a look. But I can see, for instance, the COVID page is actually it's not the worst performing, but it is up there. Again, that tells me, potentially I need to work on that COVID page. Why are people bouncing off this page? Is it because I haven't made it obvious in terms of my navigation bar that people can go elsewhere? Again, this is predominantly a landing page. I'm just directing you guys to there, for instance, to fill out the one-to-one. Again, it is showing quite a high bounce rate. Maybe people are kind of just looking on there and thinking, oh, I've already filled out that form, I won't do it. Again, there's lots of reasons as to why. But that's how you can see where people are coming from for your specific pages. The next and final kind of top metric to look for is your conversions. So I'm going to go into conversions. Again, conversions are your goals and what you're wanting people to do. So I'm just going to go to conversions. I'm going to go to goals. I'm going to click on overview. So as I can see, I've had 260 goal completions in the last in the whole month of March. I can see 7% roughly are converting into an inquiry, which is really good to see. And again, I can kind of go onto source and medium and find out where the majority of these are coming from, which is direct, Google, or organic. And again, that's pretty much the in-depth view of Google Analytics. This is me showing you top metrics to look for. Just to kind of run over that again, you've got your visitor data, which is your audience report. So I'm going to go to audience and overview, and you can choose your date range and you can compare between different months. Have a look at that. Some really useful information in there. Second thing to look for is your devices. So go into mobile, onto audience, mobile, and then overview. Find out what device people are looking at. Again, you need to kind of find out what content you need to be writing for. For us, it's desktops. We don't get that many visitors on mobile. That's for us. It will be different for you. How they find you. So you go to kind of acquisition, in here, and then you click on overview, and this will show you how your visitors are finding you. Again, top metric to look for. Your landing pages, so behavior, site content, and landing pages. Find out what landing pages people are looking at. And again, you can filter by secondary dimension. You can put in the source and you can find out where they've actually found those landing pages as well. And then the final metric to look for is your conversions. Go into goals and have a look at your overview. But I am conscious of the time. We are 5 minutes past 3. I know Matt is wanting to run through some stuff as well. If you guys have any questions, please put them in the chat. I hope that's been useful for you guys. Hopefully Matt's still around. Matt, are you there somewhere?
Yeah, I hear Josh.
Brilliant. How are you? Let me just come out of there. There we go.
Great. If you can just share the presentation again. If you skip to the final couple of slides for me, if that's all right. Yes. So that one. Yeah. That's next one. Next one. That's it. That's it. So basically, all I was going to add is if you do need any help, then you know where to go. It's just infoserve.com/COVID, and you can book a free one-to-one. We've caught up with all of the one-to-ones now, and everybody's had a conversation with us, and that's where they're getting a lot of success and extra help. So if you do want any extra help or any one-to-one, we're here. We've got a big team behind us, PPC guys, social media guys, website, and we're all there available to speak to you. So please do drop us a note and we can pick it up with you. Okay, and next, I was just going to say, Josh, on the next one, all I was going to say is we've had a lot of requests for help, extra help, and we're very much overwhelmed by the positive feedback and your response. And what a lot of you are saying is, can we actually use you guys to help us? And we didn't come into this thinking that, well, especially at this time, we really didn't think there was going to be any room for any business or anything like that. We just want to help. So I'm just going to leave this here. If anyone does want extra help and extra support, and for us to manage your marketing, completely take it over and manage it, well, obviously we'd love to. We didn't expect it at this time, but we'd love to help. And so we've set up a little kind of chart plan system for you to choose from, and we've kept it very, it's £25 a month for the starter one. So it's really reasonable. If you do want any support for your local listings, if you want more listings, then we can do that. Or if you want more support around your website, SEO, and PPC and social media, then we can certainly take over and manage everything for you and support you. So basically, instead of hiring someone to do it all, instead of taking maybe a 20K a year kind of digital marketing consultant, we'd love to help you, and we can certainly help you for a lot less. So we're here. If you need us, it's there. It's up to you guys. Do just go to infoserve.com/COVID. Request a one-to-one, and we can take it from there. We can help you in any way you want, but it's there if you want it. So infoserve.com/COVID. And before you go, we've got another free surprise for you, a big treat. We are launching a new webinar for all of our customers. So we have thousands of actual customers that are on plans like this. I think about 3,500 are on a plan like this. And we're launching a customer webinar tomorrow at 11 a.m. And it's our first one to our customers. We've been doing this for non-customers. So for businesses that we don't know about, we've been doing these free daily webinars for you. And tomorrow we launch our own for our own customer base. And it will be slightly different. It will be talking about the things that they have, PPC products that they have with us, or website that they have with InfoServe. But tomorrow, I'm going to be going over the first thing that I did with everyone that was in this webinar. So I'm going to be covering digital marketing essentials, Google My Business, Bing Places, and website conversion rate optimization. So I'm going to be covering off some of the essentials that we did with you guys 3 weeks ago. So if you want to join in, then I'm happy to share that link. And the link is just in the chat. I've just added it into the chat there. So if you want to register, you can register for all of the next. We're doing a daily webinar, like I say, for our customers, and you're welcome to join us. It's completely free again. So it's at 11 a.m. every day from tomorrow. And yeah, we'd love to see you in there. But just word of warning, some of it will be going back to where we started with this webinar. So we'll see if that helps you at all. But that's completely free. Go back to the screen before, Josh. Like I say, if you want any free help or any free support, there you go. There's the address. And I hope this has been enough for you. If you want to leave us a review, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to get your feedback. But that's all from us today, Josh. Any closing comments?
So yeah, we have the social media webinar tomorrow. So it'll be me and Sam running through some social media stuff. We've got LinkedIn. We have so on and so forth too.
And that's at 2:00, isn't it?
That's at 2:00 tomorrow. Yeah. Yes, same time as normal. Josh deserves a nice cup of tea for all that info. I think you're right, Jen.
I think you're right. A nice cup of tea and a biscuit. Yeah. I think I was going to end by saying, Josh, thank you so much. Incredible session. We really appreciate it. There's a lot of technical detail that you've gone into. The last few days have been really technical. Sorry, Josh. The last few days have been really technical. Tomorrow, though, is an awesome one around social media, and it's getting back to some of the more kind of really essential tips around your digital marketing. So tomorrow at 2 p.m, this normal. You guys don't need to change anything. It's tomorrow 2 p.m. continuing for the foreseeable future. And then we also have the new 11 a.m. one for our customers tomorrow. So tomorrow with Josh, and I'll be diving in as well, and Sam will be there. We've got a big social media one planned, so I hope everyone joins us. That's enough for us today. Thanks, Josh. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you so much, guys. I'm just going to answer some questions in the chat as well. But yeah, brilliant. Thank you very much, and we'll see you tomorrow at 2.
Thank you. Bye.